Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Chris, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT, and you are doing what many other students are doing, TOEFL iBT speaking practice, and you completed an independent speaking practice test number 17, am I right? And by the way, before I forget, happy holidays to you. This is the Christmas holiday season.
Even though I changed apartment a few times in the last 10 years,
I'm going to say here, even though I changed apartments. So put ED on the end.
Even though I changed apartment a few times
and say change apartments and make apartments plural. So right in the first 4 seconds, we already have 2 grammar errors. We have a verb tense error and then an error with a plural noun, so be careful.
In the last 10 years, I personally prefer to live in the same place rather than moving around.
All right.
This is for several reasons. First of all,
so I prefer to live in the same place rather than moving around. I would probably say I prefer to live in the same place rather than move around, or I prefer living in the same place rather than moving around. So that's called parallel structure. So you want to keep it balanced in that case. I would use in that case either the base form of the verb or 2 gerunds.
Moving around can be very stressful because there is always a lot of packing involved. Probably furniture needs to be changed.
Okay.
So it can be quite expensive.
Yes.
The second reason is that it can be detrimental.
The second reason why I prefer to stay in one place is, so make sure you connect that second part of what you're saying back to the purpose of the speaking task, which is why you don't want to move around a lot.
In terms of friendship. For example, with my personal experience, every time that I change apartment, I ended up losing.
So every time I change apartments, and then put an S on the end there.
Most of the friends that I made in the previous place where I was living. So for the reasons said, I think I prefer living in the same place.
All right, not bad. So let's take a look at the rubrics here. I think you'll probably score maybe right around 23 points out of 30, 3.0 out of 4. In this one, you had some problems with your verb tenses. Then you had problems with parallel structure. And then you have problems using singular versus plural count nouns. So that's probably enough to move your score below that threshold that you need. All right, so let's take a look at what you said. You have some comments also, right?
Hello, Michael. I have a question.
Yes.
In one of my previous speeches, you told me that it was not perfectly correct to use several before giving the reasons on my statement. But according to another teacher, it's perfectly fine if I do it. So would you please tell me your point of view about it? Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Bye.
Well, give me an example what you're talking about there, though. I'm not exactly sure. Are you saying that I have several reasons to support my point of view or something? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking me here, so maybe write what you're saying, and then I can have more information. I might have told you before that I prefer when you're creating a thesis statement for either a writing or a speaking task, it's usually not, in my opinion, good to say I have several reasons to support my point of view. Because that's kind of a predictable, memorized, unoriginal response, and it doesn't do much to focus your ideas. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking me, but if I haven't answered your question, maybe send me an email, or you can make a comment at VoxyPop and give me like the whole sentence of how you might say something and how I said maybe it's not good to say that versus what your other teacher said, and then I can have some idea what you're talking about. All right, anyway, hang in there. So your last response, I think, was it had a nice, coherent organization. You had very good control, I think, of your delivery, but you did have some language use issues in your response.